She moves silently in the night when shadows shift in dim moonlight. She lies in ambush, biding her time. She is Bast, the cat divine. The enemies of light and Mott are desperate not to cross her path. For while she moves on quiet velvet paws, she rends her foes with deadly claws. Only fools judge her by her size, thinking she is naught but the doom of mice. While she slays creatures of decay and strife, she is Bast, the daughter of the light.
Bast is the ancient Egyptian goddess. Her origins go back to a time long before cats were domesticated in Egypt. Bast has been associated at one time or another with several other Egyptian goddesses, such as Sekhmet, Niet, Nut, Wadjet, Mut, Heket, as well as Artemis, who is a Greek goddess, and Diana, a Roman goddess. It is believed that her form originally was not a domestic cat, but rather other feline, possibly a lioness or leopard. Like each Egyptian deity, she had a dual nature, being both benign and aggressive. Over time, she developed a twin. Another aspect of herself, that is, Sekhmet, the lion-headed goddess. Of all the goddesses associated with Bast, her connection to Sekhmet is the strongest.
As opposed to other Egyptian goddesses, not much is known about Bast. We still have ancient hymns about Isis and invocations for Sekhmet. However, there are no rituals, chants, or invocations for Bast that have survived to modern times that I could find. It was not until the New Kingdom that Bast became exclusively associated with domesticated cats. As Bast became more and more of a household pet, she lost all traces of her lioness form. It became more common to depict her as a house cat or a woman with the head of a cat. The goddess Bast is a goddess of Lower Egypt. She is the protector of the sun god Ra, and by extension, the protector of pharaohs. She protects Ra as he travels the night sky in his boat of 1,000,000 years against Apep, the serpent, who will swallow the sun at the end of days. By the time of the pyramid texts, between 2400 to 2300 BCE, she was formally associated with the pharaohs. When the pharaoh was a child, Bast was seen as his nanny or nursemaid, and as he grew, she became his protector. Many pharaohs even included her in their throne names.
Her sacred animal, of course, is the cat. Cats were sacred in Egypt because they decimated the mice population, which threatened the food supply of vital grains. In fact, cats were valued as much that cats were valued so much that when a house was on fire, the cats were carried out first, and then, if there was still time, the people were saved. Cruelty against a cat or killing one was a crime, punishable by death. During excavations, many mummified cat bodies were found around the ancient temple of Bast. They had been embalmed, which was a costly process normally reserved for royalty.
Bast can appear in the form of a cat or fully human, as a woman, or as a mixture of both, with a woman's body and the head of a cat. Her fully feline form is her fiercer aspect. She is said to be capable of great generosity to her devotees, yet she can be cruel and merciless to evildoers, which reminds me of both Hecate and the Morrigan, two goddesses that I am personally dedicated to. This shows clearly that she is not a goddess to be underestimated. Some often make the mistake of thinking of Bast as a cuddly kitty goddess. She is not. While it is true that she is a goddess of dance and music, she is also a dark goddess, an underworld goddess, and a destroyer of evil.
Her sacred rites were held once a year at, do you know what that is?
Bubastis.
Babastis, thank you. This was a great event, and many people would travel on the Nile in boats for the celebration. It is said people on the boats would sing and dance, and when passing settlements, the women would lift up their skirts and taunt the onlookers. Large amounts of beer were drunk, and there was dancing and music. Orgies were an integral part of the celebration as well.
Bast's name means she of the perfume jar. Her hieroglyphic is made up of the hieroglyphic Bast, which means perfume jar, and two breads, which incidentally make a very good offering for her. Her name is sometimes written as Bastet, but that is due to a mistransliteration of her hieroglyphics. The second letter T was only to signify a female ending. The correct pronunciation should be Bast. There are many misconceptions about the goddess Bast. Many think of her as a fertility goddess. However, fertility is not Bast's main aspect. Her nature is ecstatic, wild, and orgastic, rather than purely procreative.
The most important colors in Egypt were black and red. Black generally symbolized the forces of order and good, while red was a more destructive color and symbolized the forces of chaos. Therefore, Bast's sacred color, black, shows that she is on the side of good and order, on the side of Ra. The color black also stands for her ability to travel by night and into the dark regions of the underworld. Cats are night active, and so Bast's power too lies in the darkness and the silence of night. Black also stands for the void and the mystery, which Bast knows and teaches to those who are ready to embrace all. Even their shadows, even their own inner darkness, Bast teaches us fearlessness, stillness, and the meditative power of the cat.
Sometimes Bast is seen as a sister to Sekhmet, but some say this is incorrect. There is history that says she is a solar goddess, and the opposing as well. but she was never a solar goddess because she does not wear a solar disk as Isis and Sekhmet do. To me, her energy is most assuredly lunar rather than solar. But as with many things, it is open to interpretation. She is a goddess of intuition and can enter our dreams. She helps us to access our underworld and face our deepest issues and fears. It is said she demands total devotion. She is very loving to her devotees, but will have no scruples to do what is necessary for their growth, even if it means giving them pain to shake things up. This attribute goes along also with goddesses such as Hecate and Morrigan. Bast is not a fluffy kitten, make no mistake. She is a powerful goddess in her own right. She appears deceptively harmless, yet within her velvet paws, sharp claws are ever at the ready. She is also a great healer, which is the other side of being a destroyer. As with witches, it has been said that a witch who cannot curse cannot heal.
The goddess, with her many faces and names, teaches us to be beyond duality, beyond judgment. Therefore, you can find many stories of goddesses showing both cruelty and compassion, destroying with one hand, healing with the other. The goddess teaches us to be beyond the illusion and aligned to the divine, to see the bigger picture, instead of adhering to rigid moral judgments.
Bast was said to be both cruel and kind, and she is one example of the dual nature of goddesses. To embrace her fully, we have to let go of all our judgment and prejudice, of our fear of power, and follow our instincts, just as a cat does. When we go beyond, we realize that destructive power also has its uses. Transformation is often preceded by destruction. The tree destroys the seed. A true healer needs to be able to harness destructive energy, as some conditions and problems cannot be overcome without destruction of the opposing force. So Bast's sacred animal is the cat. Her sacred colors are black or midnight blue. As far as a sacred weekday, there was nothing specific in all of the history that I read for any of the Neteru in ancient Egypt. However, I chose Saturday because most appropriately because she's a dark goddess and an underworld goddess, and the energy of Saturn, which is associated with Saturday, suits Bast best.
Sacred plants, no surprise here, catnip. They're also vervain, cinnamon, and cannabis. Sacred symbols, sistrum, perfume jar, ankh, and cats. Abhors, cruelty to cats, of course, and uncleanliness and denial. Altar color, well, we already said the color is black. Candles, tea lights in a nice glass or candle globe with cat motif would be appropriate. This is closest to what the Egyptians had, oil lamps. Or you could have an oil lamp. No need for expensive taper candles and no wax spillage on your altar cloth. Incense, resin and herbs, mixture to be burned on charcoal. No commercial incense sticks or cones, as those often contain cow dung, which is a taboo into Egyptian deity.
It is said that Bast loved beer, especially dark beer, and occasionally red wine. She likes brown rice or barley, whole wheat meat, whole meal bread rolls, and red onions. So tonight we have an offering plate for her with some of her favorite things. We have an offering plate with red onions, brown rice, apples, and cinnamon. Bast loves song and dance, and she loves the sistrum or the rattle. Tonight we will be using both in our ritual. Tonight we will honor Bast and work a banishing and attraction spell in our ritual. So we have pieces of paper and pencils. Moon and Amethyst are going to hand those out. I want you to take some time and choose one or two things that you no longer need in your life, and two things that you would like to replace them with. Be realistic and be sure you can do your part to work the spell after we leave ritual space tonight. So those of you online can join along. We will be burning these papers at the end of our ritual and setting our intentions out to the universe. You can burn yours at home right along with us.
So we're writing what we want to eliminate and what we want to proceed.
What you want to replace that with. Because remember, folks, when you do away with something, you're leaving a void. And if you don't fill that void, the universe is going to fill it for you, and it may not necessarily be filled with something that you want. This evening, as we enter ritual space, we ask you to become one with the night. Be as quiet as possible. You may just hear Bast or some of her creatures lurking about. Please enter circle. This evening, we honor the goddess Bast. Together, we will work a banishing new beginning spell. Once the circle is cast, we ask you please do not break it. Let us begin by purifying ourselves and our sacred space. Let the drum be sound. Earth and water, do I declare. The circle, pure and free. All within, be filled with light, bound by love, and blessed peace. Earth and water, I declare. This circle, pure and free. All within, be filled with light, bound by love, and blessed peace. By earth and water, do I declare. This circle, pure and free. Let all within be filled with light, bound with love, and blessed be. So motivated. We will now cast the circle. By holy flame of heart's desire, the circle is cast in spirit fire. The worlds are parted, time's web unspun, until our work is done. By holy flame of heart's desire. This circle is cast in spirit fire. The worlds are parted, time's web unspun, until our work is done. So mote it be.
Hayet, Sutanit, Hanasek, Hanakut, Enhe, Amat Ba, Mistress of Feline, Eye of Ra, Consort of Ptah, in the desert dunes, prowls she and croons. Great Bast, Queen of Cats, eyes of gold, a face of beauty so bold, gentle paws, deadly claws, tonight we honor you.
We will now call in the quarters, starting in the east. Carl, the drums, please. Amethyst.
Hail to the lords and ladies of the east, powers of air, pillars of the east, where the spark of life dawns and the sun rises. Guide us in all our journeys and protect us from destructive passions. Stay with us always and guard us. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
And south.
Hail to you, lords and ladies of the south, powers of fire, pillars of the south, the land of the living. Guide us in all of our travels and protect us from all harm. Stay with us always and keep us safe from all dangers. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
And the west.
Hail to the lords and the ladies of the west, powers of the water, pillars of the west, the gateways to the land of the dead. Guide us as we are journeying through all the worlds, protect us from all the war threats or interference with our purpose. Be with us always and guard us from all peril. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
The north.
Hail to you, lords and ladies of the north, powers of earth, pillars of the north, land of darkness and the unknown, wherein all things are formed and to which all shall return. Protect us from danger, be ever with us at our right hand, and disperse all danger that would assail us. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome.
As it was in ancient Egypt, so it is now. Hear us, we beseech you, O powerful Bast. Hail, Bast, goddess of dance and music, goddess of the underworld, and a destroyer of evil. Hail, Bast, goddess of the wild and the ecstatic, lover of all felines. May all cats be revered as they once were. Dark Mother, goddess of rebirth and healing, we call to you. Be with us and give us your blessing this night. Hail and welcome.
Hail and welcome. Goddess Bast, we call to you, mighty lady, bright eye of Ra. We thank you for being with us, most powerful mother. Goddess, you are the concealed one who shows us love and affection and who can grant us pleasure to experience the deepest fulfillment of life. Offerings we make to you this night, flame of the sun, great protectress, offerings of those things we need to depart with for the betterment of our lives, and our desires for those things we wish to manifest in the months to come.
Everyone has written something on paper that you want to banish from your lives, as well as what you would like to bring forth to replace those with. Tonight, we will banish the things that are keeping us from becoming what we want to be and bring us closer to what we want to be. Everyone take a moment to relax. Take one long, deep breath. The energy of your desires is embedded in your papers. In a moment, we will be burning these papers in the fire. And as they burn, our energy will go out to the universe. We will chant together to raise energy. As we chant, and as you are ready, one at a time, we will then walk forward and give our offerings to the fire and to Bast. Carl, if you could maintain a low and steady drum. And this is our chant. Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flame.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flames.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands
we
now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flame.
Our desires we now claim.
Our desires we now claim.
From our hands into the flames.
From our hands into the flame.
So mote it be,
So mote it be.
and so it shall be.
So it shall be.
Now that we have raised this amazing energy, let us partake in the gifts of the gods with cake and ale. We have gluten-free cakes, as well as dark beer, which Bast loves, and Coke, for those who do not wish to have the beer. So let us serve you, and I want your help. Anyone who does not want beer? Okay. Here. Three more beers.
No, 4 more. Okay, 1, 2.
4 more beers. 5.
They don't want beer, they want Coke.
Beer. 3 more beers. 1 more.
And you want beer, right? Yep.
3 more beers. All right.
Mhm.
Okay. May we never thirst.
May we never thirst.
To the gods.
To the gods. May we never hunger.
May we never hunger.
To the gods.
To the gods. How's that beer?
Yes. No, I'll tell you later.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
We will now share the bounty with the goddess and her creatures who seek shelter in this sacred place by making an offering in what we now call the fairyland, the area that has been scooped out behind the trees here. And since Alba knows the area really well, I'm going to ask her to come up to make the offering, and I'll open the circle for you. If you want to have fun. We will now begin to close our circle. Goddess Bast, powerful one.
We thank you for your blessings.
We thank you for communing with us and taking our woes and desires onto yourself.
We were honored by your presence and now bid you farewell.
As you return to your realm of divine beings, may you leave your passion behind us. We thank you.
Hail and farewell.
Hail and farewell. We will now release the quarters, starting in the north.
Hail to you, lords and ladies of the north. Powers of earth, we thank you for your protection this night and bid you farewell. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
And the west.
Hail to the lords and ladies of the west, powers of the water, we thank you for your guidance this night. And bid you farewell, blessed be.
Blessed be.
And south.
Hail to you, lords and ladies of the south, powers of fire. We thank you for your protection this night and bid you farewell. Blessed be.
Blessed be. And the east.
Hail to you, lords and ladies of the east, powers of air. We thank you for your guidance this night and bid you farewell. Blessed be.
Blessed be.
By holy flame of heart's desire, we spun this circle in spirit fire. The fire we now douse, the circle we now release, never broken, always with us. So mote it be.
So mote it be.
Yay, thank you everyone. Woo!